I am out in Michigan, and I had to see this project first. So I'm out here working with Ryan Farnell from Platinum Ponds and Landscaping out of Grand Rapids. Tomorrow, we're going to be working on a recreational swimming pond, but I was going through his Facebook page, and I saw this pond that I'm out at right now. And he was like, Carl, I got to show it to you. I'm like, are you kidding me? I got to see this thing myself. So I'm going to introduce you right now to Ryan, and I'm going to have him walk you through. Ryan, introduce yourself.
I'm Ryan with Platinum Ponds and Landscaping. We're out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and just excited to walk through this pond today, and excited to have Carl out here with us.
So the first thing I want that comes to mind is the landscaping, how you blended this thing in. So I noticed the falls, and we're going to walk towards the falls right now. But as we're walking towards the falls, I just want you to talk to me about your idea behind this, because the way you blended this in with the landscaping is perfect. So it's all you. Talk to me about how you blended that in. Let's just go walk towards the falls.
Yeah, so here in Grand Rapids, we've got a lot of beautiful backwoods areas, and this is just a beautiful landscape. Lots of huge trees. We've got a backwoods here. We actually carved this wetlands out of the woods, so there was trees that actually came in about halfway up the stream there. And we literally cut these trees down, we dug the stumps out, and we just wanted to incorporate this with the natural beauty of the forestry and all of the beautiful trees that we have here. And one of the goals was to have it look like it's always been here. That's always our goal, is Mother Nature intended this to be here.
That's mine too. I love that you're saying that, because I always say that to people. I always tell people I want it to look like God had it here first, and then the house came second.
Yep,
you know?
Yep. And so they had this vision for the pond, but they never in their wildest dreams imagined that it could be something that incorporated this amazing waterfalls and had all of the recreational things around it, like a putting green. We just had the opportunity to come in here. And the great thing was,
dude, I just saw a frog. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But like right down here, look at the wildlife right there. Let's see if I can pick him up on the camera. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is, right there. Center of the shot. Center of the shot. And he just jumped right in.
The water is beautiful, by the way. It's almost 80 degrees. We've had some warmer weather here in Michigan, but this thing is definitely intended to swim in, and the water is absolutely perfect right now to swim in.
Ryan, one of the things that I noticed immediately as I was walking up to this for the first time is I noticed the visibility of these drops.
Yep.
And obviously now we're walking, what, I'm going to guess that's about 120 foot across. Is that about right?
It's actually 75 foot from inside of rock to inside of rock.
Okay, so I was off. His wife is over there sitting down.
Yep.
But I noticed from over here that the visibility of these rocks, and this is such an important thing that you did here that I'm not critiquing, I'm loving it, because you can hear it, but it's so visible.
Yep.
And look at this. You made a nice little walking stone pathway to go across.
Yep. Yep.
Talk about your design for the waterfall.
Yeah, so we had originally thought that we were going to wanted this thing to be in scale, so we use extra wide liner to build this waterfall. So we didn't want to be constrained by the size of the rocks, because we were using some cases 5 or 6 foot rocks to anchor in these waterfalls. And we wanted to have every waterfall, we wanted to have different than the one above it. That's always the goal, as you know, Carl. But we wanted to split some, and we wanted to have an area where they could step across. And this area here is kind of a stepping stone area over into the putting green area that we also installed as well.
I love it. So I'll tell you one of the things that I love a lot about this is that shelf right over here on the side. Yeah. So this little seating area here, you can sit down there while people are putting, and
yep.
I mean, it's like the perfect height, right?
Yeah, I mean, we built some retention. We had quite a slope here, and this is my favorite rock on the whole project. This is one solid rock right here.
So what do you guys call this? We don't get this in California. This is weathered limestone, right?
Weathered limestone, yep.
And look at the moss rock. Is that facing north right now?
Yep, it is.
We don't get that in California. So if you're one of my clients in California, you're saying, I want weathered limestone. I'm sorry, folks. That's going to add roughly about $2,500 to $3,000 a ton. This one particular rock here is about a $3,000 rock back home. This one particular rock. And out here, of course, this is a natural stone for you, so that's a bit of a fraction of the price.
This rock is about 4,000 pounds.
Yeah, so 4,000 pounds, so that's a $5,000 to $7,000 rock back home when you figure in the cost of shipping. It's ridiculous. Keep taking me up top. I see your wetland up here.
So here's the wetland filter. It's a 25 by 25, as we call it in the pond world, which is how we size them with our aqua blocks and our gravels. But we had 2 snorkels, so you can pump out the sediments a couple times a season. So
I'm having a hard time finding. Oh, there's this. Oh, there they are over there.
Yep, they're up there.
Oh, that's a great idea. You got them well hidden off to the side. See, this is a really great market professionalism right over here. The way they mounted the snorkels. Now, for a lot of our customers, the viewers, they don't know what a snorkel is. So why don't you pop one of those lids off so that they can see how that works?
Yeah. Might have to move some gravel away here, but they just kind of twist off. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, here we go.
There it is. So I know what we're looking at, but why don't you tell the viewers, what is that?
So this leads down into a trench at the bottom that runs beneath all of the gravels and the aqua blocks. And so this allows us, either the contractor or the homeowner, just to put a pump-out pump or sump pump or just a regular pump down and pump out the sediments, and we pump them out until we stop seeing black water come out. And after that, you kind of got it cleaned out for the year. So this makes it really easy.
I love the location. I absolutely love the way you did that.
Thank you.
In fact, when I go home, I've got a wetland I'm building starting Monday. And we actually are building it the exact same way. And I love the way that you did this.
Well, thank you.
So I know that there's one component to the wetland, that's the snorkel. The other component is the centipede. So show me, where do the centipedes go? And just kind of tell the viewers what a centipede does.
Yeah, so a centipede is in a trench below the entire system. So when everything's on a plane, the centipede would be running at the bottom of the entire wetlands. And so when you're pumping it out, everything will fall into that centipede. So the centipedes actually run this entire length of the entire wetlands.
And you have 2 of them.
And there's 2 of them. So there's another one over here. And so another trench runs this way. And if we only had 1 of them, it would be too far of distance to get all the sediments to fall into that
So you wouldn't be able to clean it.
You wouldn't be able to clean it out. So
this is really interesting. So the only other time I've seen this done with having a spillway up on top of the wetland, the way that you've done it here, because you've got water pumping from 2 places. You got water pumping through the snorkels and the centipedes and coming up through the bottom of the wetland and percolating up through the gravel bed and pouring over the edge. But you've also got water coming over that spillway over here.
Correct.
A lot of people won't do that. They're afraid to do that because they think it's going to wash out the wetland. But that's not the case. That doesn't happen.
Nope.
So you've got this beautiful waterfall over here at the top. Adds that extra touch of visibility. Do you think that people actually come up here and explore this? Because I believe that every water feature should be explorable.
100%. 100%. In fact, we were just here for our customer's graduation party, and even though it was raining out, people were just walking all around this, just completely enthralled in what was going on here. They, walking around all of the waterfalls, walking around the wetland, and of course down at the pond, and they're just meant to be. Even when I come here, I come in like, oh, this is. I can remember when we did this. This was really cool how this turned out, and there's just when you set every single rock in a water feature and you come back to appreciate it, it's just really cool.
So one of the other things, and I love your thinking, I love what you're doing, but one of the other things that I'm picking up on that is along my philosophy at Columbia Water Gardens is that you've got about 6 to 8 inches of standing water on top of your wetland. And the reason why I do that, and I'm wondering if you did it for the same reason, is because it allows the detritus to settle to the top of the wetland over here, and it kind of contains it and keeps it from spilling over in the pond and keeps the pond clear. Was that your thinking behind that, or were you just trying to create a pool? Be honest.
Well, a little bit of both. So our main reason for doing it is certain aquatic plants here in Michigan, they thrive in certain depths of water. So when we wanted a plant to be down in 6 inches of water, we could put it right down at the bottom. But if a plant needed to be in 2 inches of water, we could just build up with some rock work and get the gravels up so it would only be in 2 inches of water, for example.
So you primarily did it for the plants, which is awesome because the plant life that I see up here is kind of minimalistic. I mean, personally, I plant the hell out of my wetlands, you know?
Yep.
But it's obviously working for you guys down below because, I mean, what's the depth of that pond down below? Are we looking at about 6 feet or so?
6 feet, yeah, at the deepest point.
And that water is absolutely crystal clear to the bottom. I mean, no issues whatsoever.
Yep.
Let's go take a look at your spillway because I cannot see where your spillway is. And again, I'm going to give you high marks for that. Your spillway is completely hidden. It's buried into the gravel.
Yep. So we bury our spillways far down under the gravel. We don't have them where you see the plastic part coming out of the top. And there was a point in our career when we did that, and we learned that if we set the spillway down and it's retained by this frame rock here and this waterfall rock, and it's down underneath these gravels and it's kind of weighed down by some rocks, that it hides it and conceals it, and it still does the same thing as it would if it were set up at grade level.
So I have a lot of videos that have gotten a lot of play in social media, and I have this thing. Waterfalls do not come out of the side of a house.
Yep.
Waterfalls do not come off the side of a fence or a block wall. We don't build volcanoes.
Yep.
And waterfalls need to percolate out of the ground because that's how it's done in nature.
Yep.
And that's exactly what you did here. High marks from me on the design here with that simple spillway. I'd say that is about maybe 32 inches wide by about 24 inches deep.
Yep.
And then again, we top it off with a little bit of moss growing on this beautiful piece of wood right over here.
Yep.
And it just frames it in so beautifully as it comes down and goes down towards the pond. One of the other things that I noticed about your water feature here, Ryan, was this. Remember what I told you about Sedona?
Yep.
And you built, or you had them bring in a hot box over here. Let's go walk all the way back down to the other side of the pond, and I want you to talk to me about that hot box.
Yeah.
I see some valve boxes. Are these yours, or?
Yep, these are ours. So we actually, you were talking about the spillway here. So we've got a Y here where we've got 2 pipes that go to each centipede. So the water pumps into each centipede and disperses out through the wetland on each side. And then we've got it directed up, Ying up to that waterfall there. So we've got about 12,000 gallons going into the wetland and about another 6 going up into that waterfall there.
So before we head on down to, that's what that's called. It's a sweat box, right? Sweat box?
The sauna?
The sauna.
Yeah, the sauna, you could call it a sweat box. You can call it whatever you want, but it gets really hot.
But before we go down there, I'm looking at this, and honestly, I love the Midwest. I love the Midwest, something fierce. I've said it 100 times this afternoon since I flew in. But one of the things that I love about Midwestern homes is that people can entertain. And as they're entertaining and they're coming up along the pond side and all that, here's what I'm imagining. Let's see if maybe you're on the same vision right over here. So it's Friday evening or Saturday afternoon. Family's over. Everybody's having fun or whatever. What do you think would happen over here in this grassy area right over here, which is a lot of grass?
Bocce ball. You could play badminton. You could play volleyball. You can have a fire down on the beach. They've actually got a tee box up there, and they loft golf shots and try to land them on the green.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was also thinking, you know, that you could play cornhole, you know.
Yep.
You know, there's plenty of room for that. All right, let's keep working our way back down.
And let's not forget about the putting green. They can putt. We also installed this putting green, and
oh, you guys put this in?
We did put this in. Yep.
I don't even see the seams. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is really, really good.
Yep.
One job that we did in the desert a few years ago, we put in we put in the pond and all that, and I got to be honest, We did not install the putting green. He had somebody else put it in for us. And the reason why is because it's PGA certified. And I'm like, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Right.
But the guys that did put it in, they put in lights inside the cups, which is a really cool effect.
That's cool.
You'll see that on a couple of my web pages someplace out there.
Yep.
Adirondack chairs. Let's go around this way over here.
Sure.
Let's check out the Adirondack chairs. And again, we can just kind of walk around here. Again, we're just exploring this water feature and enjoying all the features around it as we go around. Nice placement of the lights. I'll bet you this just lights up this whole section all the way out to about maybe 5 feet circle all around it.
Yep.
I love that.
We've got some down lights too in the trees, that spotlights that come down on the putting green. The lights probably will be coming on probably within the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Well, we'll have to get that on the drone.
Yeah. But we got steps going down to the water here.
You got steps here going down.
Yep.
And I noticed that this whole side over here is just loaded with steps.
Yep.
I'm gushing right now. I love this water feature. I'm like thinking to myself, man, if I could just move to the Midwest and just bang out some jobs that have this kind of rock. But I mean, back home, guys, I want to be honest with you. You can easily call this $1 million pond back home.
Yep.
And if you try to put this in California, this is $1 million water feature all day long.
Oh yeah.
And I think, what did you get for this one here? 400.